He's tearing up our furniture, which is like the first time we've ever experienced anything like that. And you're looking at puppies, and I'm like, what is my life? What is my life?
Welcome to the Blow Your Mind podcast. If you're trying to figure out who you are, where you're headed, or how to trust yourself in the middle of it all, this show is for you. I'm Erica Sinner. I grew up in a trailer park on food stamps, and I went on to build a multi-8-figure award-winning company without a safety net and without pretending it was easy. I'm now a CEO, a best-selling author, and a philanthropist. And what I've learned is this: real confidence isn't a feeling. It's self-trust built through evidence. This is a place for real conversations. You'll hear from me and occasionally my husband, Chris, as we talk honestly about real life and the standards and decisions that separate talk from results. Let's blow your mind. Picture this. I have just taken a tour of my dream home, like dream house, like in the world. I was so excited. I couldn't believe it. Chris and I are out on a whim looking at display homes together. And now I find myself driving home because we had driven separately, thinking about how am I going to convince my husband to let us buy this house? And this is the house was not on the market. We had no plans of moving. And I just knew that was where we were supposed to live. Today's episode is all about how we actually decide on the big things. So I want to welcome you all to the Blow Your Mind podcast. I'm here with Chris, and we're going to talk about how we make big decisions.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. Because you remember that day we had decided. So one of the things about me is I love to dream big, but I also, the way that I do that is by seeing what's possible. And so Chris and I, when we were living in a beautiful home in O'Fallon, that was our dream home at the time. And I had just asked, can we just go look at houses? Just go do house tours, go look at all of the displays and walk through them like we can afford them. And we're going to actually live in these homes. And you said yes. You said we could go look, and we were on our way.
Yeah, so I need things to do to keep you occupied during the weekend. So I was oh, this should be an inexpensive thing. We'll just go window shopping houses. Little did I know.
Little did you know. Yeah, because we had gone to we did 3 display homes, and then this house when we. Driving the road, I had told because we were why were we driving separate to this house?
No, okay, so no. We looked at this house, but then when it became more serious, I think no. This is what happened. I don't actually know exactly what happened. We were coming home from work. She wanted to show us this house specifically. We were already at the other place.
That's right. It was the same.
Yeah.
That's right.
The
okay.
Community manager.
When we had gone that day to be looking around at houses, just to window shop and daydream, that was a lot of fun. And when we saw this one floor plan, it was so beautiful. And it was out in Chesterfield, and we were excited about it. We were talking about it, but then the woman calls and she's like, "Hey, I really want to show you guys this other house." And Chris and I are both like, "We have no plans of moving right now. We're actually not looking to buy a house. We were literally just daydreaming." And she said, "No, I really want you to come by and look at this house." And so we both went after work, met here at 5:00, and we walked in, and I just it was an audible gasp of just this is it. We're supposed to live here. My eyes are big. I couldn't believe it. I kept looking at Chris, just hoping he knows, this is where I want to be. And he's looking at me this is not happening, my love. And even the craziest thing happened at the end, right before when we were leaving, all of a sudden this family of deer walk in the backyard. We have a really nice yard. And Chris is like, "Yeah, sure. Okay. Cue the deer," from some movie or something.
Yeah. Funny Farm. Shout out Chevy Chase.
Yes. But it's actually true. We get deer almost every night out in the backyard, which is really beautiful. It's like a Disney movie. But what was so crazy about that day is, after we looked at it, we were both driving home separately, and all I could think about was, how am I going to convince Chris? I try to convince him of a lot of things, as you guys know, but this was such a big deal. Not only was it so much money, but also our house was not ready to be sold. We had not put it on the market. We had not decided any of these things. We hadn't to move is top 5 things of most stressful things.
Looking for houses.
Yeah, that's the point. We were not looking for a house.
Yeah.
And then I get home and you get home and we're both quiet in the garage and we walk into the house and we look at each other and I just like, I really want that house.
Yeah. And so the surprising thing was the whole way home, I'm thinking, we are not prepared for this, but I really want this house too. How am I going to convince Erica that we should do this?
Convince me.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
No, it was cool. It was really neat to just be so on the same page and also about such a big deal. I mean, it was crazy, this whole situation, like even the way we got the house, it was like the last one in the neighborhood to sell. So we got a great deal on it. And they were like, but you have to move in within the next 30 days. And we're like, oh my God, like now we have to like put our house on the market, make it like all of the repairs, like, and it all just worked out. There was some executive who was moving into town for his job. And so then the moving company moved him into our house and then we moved into this house. Like it all just worked out.
It did
so
all
perfectly.
work out, but it didn't feel like it was going to work out most of the time.
Yeah.
It just all came together right at the last minute. And we were like, well, yeah, that was meant to be.
Yeah.
But it was very stressful.
But I wanted to talk today about like how we actually decide big decisions. Like that is a huge decision to make. And it like we're both, I think, still in shock of just how it came together. The fact we were both on the same page for such a like enormous purchase. But I would say like in general, like we're usually on the same page. I know you're probably like rolling your eyes in your car. Like really, like you guys never fight. We do. Trust you me. But I mean, not really. But like there are times we disagree.
I mean, that's the thing that struck me when I saw this topic come up. I'm like, we may disagree, but I think we're both like highly logical people. And if we disagree and then we both present our arguments, I think the truth, of the situation, the other person will give in and be like, okay, yeah, actually that does make sense. Like, so our disagreements don't like resonate in my brain because there's such a short duration. We'll come together quickly.
It doesn't feel like, oh, there was a time where we like just totally weren't on the same page,
right.
Because it doesn't feel like a fight. It just feels like a true conversation. And it's always a thoughtful one. Like for big things, little things, we do talk about, like, you do such a great job of helping me get to like what the reality of the situation will be if we do the thing that it is that I want to do or that we're going to do, which is always like, that's like when we decided to have kids, when we decided to have our dogs and go to 2 to 3 to 4. I mean, maybe that's a decision, man. Like,
okay, so those are decisions I lost. Like this was never the plan to have 5 dogs. I mean, this is out of control. Even right now, they're both here. Okay.
oh my God. They're making it known that, we're here, Dad.
Okay. Very sorry, Teddy. Sometimes I will give in, even though I don't think it's the right thing, just to make you happy if I don't think it's, life or death. So us having 5 dogs is me just capitulating.
We knew we wanted Kingston. Then we talked about how Kingston needed a friend, and so we got the second one.
Totally on board for both of those decisions.
Yeah.
Since then,
Eddie came around because at the time we were considering adopting, and then throughout that process we realized like it's really not for us. Like it didn't make sense for our life, and I felt like something was missing, and I was doing my pet photography, which was like a hobby of mine. And I met this family and they had this baby Shar-Pei, and immediately I was like, I want another Shar-Pei, and I want a blue one, and it's a boy. And I just had this like image in my mind of like the Shar-Pei I wanted. And she said he actually has a litter right now, and he thinks it's going to be a blue. And so it felt like fate, guys. It was fate. Eddie was supposed to be with us, our little Eddie Spaghetti. But then Teddy came around because, and this was one where, how do we actually decide? It was kind of crazy because my friend had actually lost her Shar-Pei, and I was traveling so much for work. I have all of these airline miles, airline points, and I've shared before on episodes where our Shar-Pei have really built our community. And so she lived in Atlanta, and I told her, I was like, you should, like, are you going to get another Shar-Pei? And so our friend Stephanie in Texas knew of a breeder that had bear coats, and that's what she had always wanted. And so Stephanie got her the bear, and I was like, I will use my miles to fly you out if you let me come with you. So I went to Denver with her, And we actually ended up staying. So hi, Jenna, Douglas's mom, who also has a Shar-Pei. We also like had not met except through Instagram for years, but we had messaged her. She picked us up from the airport. We stayed at her house, and we were like, the next day we just knew that this new bear coat was going to be showing up for Helen to be able to take home with her. And the breeder comes and the little blue van pulls up, and I'm on Instagram live. Our kids have like 40,000 followers. Everybody was so excited to see like Helen's new pay. I'm on live. All the comments are going through. And then like the van opens the door and 2 bear coats pop out.
Yeah. And if you could have heard the conversations before she left, it was all, this better not be some plot to get a bear coat Shar-Pei, like you're not bringing any home.
Which I swear, you guys, I did not know. I was like, no, I'm going because my friend is having a baby and I want to be there. And like people go to hospitals when people have newborn babies. Like I'm going for a puppy. This is totally normal. Like it was fun. Like we were going to go and do this whole thing. And then the 2 popped out and I literally like my hand is like shaking as I'm recording, watching these 2 little puppies, like fur balls, run around. And I was like, and Chris is on the chat and he's like, babe, what's going on? And I am not responding. Like everybody else is commenting, look at those 2. And I was like, I know, look at those 2. And I'm looking at Helen with her puppy, but I keep like going back to Teddy and looking at him. And Chris is like calling on my phone. I just keep declining. I mean, I'm on live. And he's like, answer the phone. And our followers know, they're cracking up. Like they know Chris is freaking out in St. Louis. Like what is happening? And I'm just like, decline. I'm like, I was holding him at this point, smushing his face. Like I can't imagine what that felt like back here.
Yeah. Another thing to remember around the time is that we had Edmund, which I wasn't, I said yes, but
yeah,
I didn't really want
couch.
Edmund. Yeah. But he was having behavioral problems.
We were sending him to puppy preschool and daycare.
He was a nut, first of all, and then he's tearing up our furniture, which is like the first time we've ever experienced anything like that. And you're looking at puppies, and I'm like, what is my life? What is my life?
Oh my God. But then I'm like, maybe Edmund needs a friend. Maybe that's why like Kingston and Mishka were older. They weren't playing with him. He's bored. He had all this energy.
What did I say?
You're like, you don't fix a bad dog by getting another dog.
Yeah.
But that day, oh my God. So I just sat with Teddy. Like I was in love. I didn't know how I was going to leave this house. And like I called Chris immediately. No, this isn't happening. Put the dog down. Like we already have 3. We have 3 dogs, Erica. And I'm like, okay. I hang up. Everybody's like watching, even the breeder. Like first, it felt oddly weird that she was like just not leaving. And then I find out my friend Stephanie knew Edmund ate the couch, knew he was a puppy, thought it would be a good idea to have another one. So she told her to bring 2. And she told her, don't leave. I promise you she's going to take him home. I could not. Like Bonnie admitted this and I was like, what? And she's like, yeah, she just told me like just to wait. And I told her this isn't usually how this works. But I like Stephanie's very like adamant. And so we were sitting there and I was just holding Teddy like, and I'd already like, I loved him. And I don't know. And like an hour goes by. I was not saying anything. I just wanted to hold him just a little bit longer. And then all of a sudden my phone rings and it says husband, because that's how Chris is saved to my phone. And I immediately freak out. I show everyone that he's calling me and I answer the phone. And what do you say?
I say, we always wanted a bear coat.
Tears, grab the dog. I run into the kitchen. I go into like her electrical closet, and I'm just like, really? Oh my God! As I'm holding this like puppy that I'm getting, he's like, yes, bring him home. I'll see you when you get home. I love you. And I hung up and I run out and I'm screaming. Everybody is like the room erupts in like joy and like, and the breeder just looked at us like, you people are crazy. Like this is really happening. And so immediately I had to call Southwest, get him his ticket. We had to go to PetSmart to buy like the thing to like actually take him home. Like, and he was such a good boy getting home, but we call him our high risk oops baby because he had to fly on a plane to get home. But I know that's not helpful in like how we actually decide. Like, how did you decide?
Okay. So That's usually how it goes too. It's like I feel like I decide everything because you're yes to everything. So it's like
This is true.
I literally, if I say yes to something, you'll say yes to something. You know, like if I really want to do something, you're in. You're already in. So like any decision, I make all of the decisions. It feels like.
We have 5 dogs.
He
said yes.
Yeah, the reason I said yes is because we had 3 dogs. And 3 dogs is chaos already. Mm-hmm. And Edmund was being bad. And I was like, what does it matter? You know, my life is already ruined with 3 dogs. Like, what does it matter? Who can make her happy? Put a smile on her face, you know? So, no, that's 3 dogs is a lot, you know? So we're already outnumbered, you know? So it's like, what does it matter? 4 dogs. Andy was, you know,
the cutest
thing I've ever seen in my life. And, you know. And he's been a dream.
Yeah.
And he's my best friend. Teddy just hangs out with me all the time. And so, yeah.
I think on a serious note, what we always talk about is like, we make big decisions, but we do think about like the reality of what the situation will be. And we really believe that you have to make decisions that your life can support. Like, can you handle the consequence of what will happen? Because you have made this decision and now you must live, deal. It's your responsibility. And so I don't know, like, I think when we do that, we know what we're going to get into. And then when they go crazy, when things happen, like, we're just like, but we put ourselves here.
Yeah. I mean, that's so true. Every decision is like actually really well thought out. And it is the right decision for the time in our life. Like when we had our 2 dogs, we lived in a tiny apartment, but you know, we had a dog park. I like to walk them and it made sense. We had a house with a yard, then we could get 3 dogs, but we would never have done it, you know,
if we were still in the apartment.
We're still in the other apartment. And now we were already in this house when I agreed to Teddy coming, and we had this huge yard. So I was like, yeah, no, it's not going to be that big of a disruption in our life, you know? So yeah. That is just very dog specific, but that goes for like all of our decisions. For all
things. Like, I think we do have like our own individual standards of like things that we decide on. Like we had shared in another episode when we chose like not to have kids. It was I travel a lot for work. I love to work, and work is not just my company, but like Tiny Superheroes, my book stuff. Like I love to be productive. I like to be doing things. I like to be going places. And Chris had just said, like, are you ready for that with kids? Like, I also don't want to be a single dad during the week when you're gone all of the time. And so it's like thinking about how will it impact both of us? Our kids are being crazy right now on the couch. We make like decisions like that about things for our life, for financials, for life insurance, I think it's just somebody calls attention to it and being able to sit down and have a thoughtful conversation and really talk about what is this really going to look like. I will say I am the one who's usually like pressing the gas pedal down where I'm like, everybody buckle the F up. Wind's going to be blowing in the hair. Like, let's go. And you're like pumping the brakes, if not like slamming the brakes on a lot of things, just to at least have the conversation. And I think that's what I love about our relationship is like, we honor each other to have the conversation for both things. Like when there's a big idea or when there's a big decision to actually talk about it and like also understand why it might not be a good idea.
Yeah, 100%. Like we also like thought about moving to Boston before, you know, and we had to have that conversation, and we ultimately didn't, but we had to come together.
We were looking at houses on Zillow. We were doing all of the things.
Yeah, it got real close.
And then it's like, I would not survive the winter.
Yeah, we really just had to think about it, you know, all aspects of it.
But I think that's the other cool thing about what you teach me is like, we not only just like at the beginning of the year think about like what was our favorite memory from the last year, what are we looking forward to this year, but you also say like, hey, we're not tied down to St. Louis. Like, do you want to live anywhere else? Like, would you like we thought about Austin, we've thought about Nashville, we thought about DC. Like, we take moments in our life to like reevaluate to say like, are we happy here? Is there anything we want to change? Versus, I feel like until our relationship, like you just kind of do what you think you're supposed to do, or you kind of let your job move you to the next thing, or your family, or your friends like influence where you're going. Versus like truly like hey, like, I'm going to take an audit of my own life and say, like, is there anything that we want to do to make it better? Because we can.
100%. Yeah, I love to do that. And I love to make it real. Like, start looking at houses. Like, we would visit Austin and, you know, see the area and just really, like, take it in and think
like,
about
could this be our airport?
Lifestyle,
Could we live here?
All the things, you know?
Yeah.
And then ultimately, is this better than what we have at home? And, you know, the best case should win.
I like it. Yeah, I love it, actually. So every episode we have our mind blown moment. For today's episode, what's something that like we decided together that surprised you, my love? Or that you would tell another couple who's like building a big life together?
Well, I think starting your company was like, it was a big risk too, you know? It was like you could easily go and just start consulting like you were doing and do your own thing and pace yourself, make good money, and, you know, take a lot of stress out of your life, honestly. Like, when you first did consulting, you were just like hungry hippo, like grabbing everything.
I didn't know if this was going to work.
Yeah, you didn't know if it was going to work, and you tried to grab all the money you could right as fast as you could. But we realized you didn't need to do that, and you could make good enough money to support us just doing one client, and that would have been a really comfortable life, and you would have a lot more free time, you know. So it was hard to kind of turn down that, you know, for, oh my God, the most insane grind for the next 3 years. So, you know, it was hard at times, but, you know, ultimately, you know, we thought it was worth it, and I think we were right. So.
Yeah. That was a mind blown moment where it was just like, wow, we really did this, and it required a lot for both of us. There was a lot of sacrifice there. And I think we're going to do a whole episode on just like how the business has like impacted our like marriage and our relationship. But it was a cool moment to like, you can take a bet on yourself. You can make decisions together as a couple, and then you support those decisions because you made them as a couple. I really do feel like that's such a mind-blowing moment. But I think the mind-blown part of this episode is that as you make decisions, really thinking about, can you support that decision with your life? And if you make them together, it doesn't matter whose idea it was, that like you did make it together. So whatever the outcome is, good or bad, it can't be like, well, this was your idea. I can't believe you put us in this situation. It's like, no, like every decision you make as a couple is yours to own together. And whatever the outcome is, you get through it together is like the mind blow moment for me.
That's so well said. You know, the decisions made are our decisions, and we've never ever thrown something back in one of our faces about, you know, this was your idea.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. And so the challenge I have for everyone listening is, you know, I would say take a moment to, I know in past episodes we've said like dream big or audit your week or look at things, but I really do love what you have us do sometimes, where you just like do look at our life and say like, is there anything we want to do to add more joy or add more to our life or change in our life that like deserves a conversation? What do you think about that for a challenge, my love?
Yeah, I think it's a great challenge. I think it's something you should be doing, you know, at least annually, you know, just really, like you said, audit your situation.
All right. Well, I'm excited to hear if you go through with the challenge and you make some big change or decide to get a new family member or something big happens or you cut something out of your life that actually changes your life. I would love to hear about it. So DM me, stay in touch. Let's be connected. And thank you so much for tuning in. These are so fun. I love the conversations that we get to have with all of you. And
this podcast is not responsible for any new dogs coming into anyone's life. So I don't want to hear it.
That's right. Oh my God. And with that, we will leave you and we will see you next time. Thanks for listening to the Blow Your Mind podcast. If something you heard today stayed with you, that's your cue. Apply one idea. Keep one promise to yourself this week, because that's how you blow your mind. If this helped you build proof, shift your identity, or have an aha moment, share your receipts on Instagram and tag me at Erica_Sinner. Leave a review wherever you're listening so more people can find this work and blow their minds too. I'll see you next time.